Here we are, guys. We have brought our camper to settle in for the winter in the South. We are doing some frugal living in retirement. And yes, you can do that. We have rented a place for 6 months. It's only $366 a month. You are able to have free water. You do pay for your internet and your electric, but we are still living frugally, even though there's lots of things down here to spend your money on. Today we have the crock pot going out here, homemade chicken broth that I brought from home that was frozen with celery in it, and some diced up chicken. And so we're making our own chicken and rice right here outside the camper door. With these prices, we're able to go home for the holidays and come back during the dead of winter and still be able to afford this. Hi everyone, I'm Bonita from Pennies to Dollars and welcome to my channel. If you're new, I am the daughter of Depression era parents. I live frugally and I share tips and tricks with people. So if you choose to use some of those to help your financial status, I want to be able to help you with that. So today we are going to talk about the trip that we just took down to Texas. I just retired a week ago on Friday, and we have been saving and living frugally for the last several years, planning our budget, planning our expenses that needed taken care of before I retired so that we could do this. Now, as a frugal person, there are things that I prioritize, and being able to retire early was something that I prioritized for myself. So I wanted to share what frugal living can look like if you choose to go this route. Everybody has different dreams and aspirations, but mine was to live in the South during the winter. We are home now for the holiday season. We did take the camper down and park it, and we are back now for the rest of the year. So I wanted to share a few clips of us being down there so you can kind of see what we were doing while we're down there. And I wanted to share with you some thoughts and ideas about what it's like if you are in a different place, or you've moved, or even if things have become too expensive at the store that you shop at. What are some of the things you can do to help offset your financial situation? We are finding this as we went down there. There's like one major store in the whole area that is their grocery store. It's HEB. Now, there are a lot of Hispanic stores that I also plan on checking out. The problem is I don't speak very much Spanish. I do know a few words, but I do shop at the Hispanic stores here and get a lot of things cheaper, like my laundry detergent. Their produce is usually a good price as well. So I do that here in Kansas as well. So I'm totally comfortable doing that there. So when we went down there, we walked through the HEB store and I looked around and I said, wow, this is going to be challenging because I'm not seeing any really good deals. I'm seeing normal prices like I see back home, but I don't pay normal prices back home. I look for clearance. I look for specials. I only stock up when there's clearance and specials, and I don't ever pay full price for anything. So when I was walking around, I didn't walk through the whole store, but I walked through it enough to see that their produce was very expensive. Their meat didn't look like it had much specials going on. They were all pretty much normal prices for meat. So I thought I'm going to be challenged here to live frugally. So that should be interesting to watch when I get back down there on how I'm choosing to make my money stretch. We are not rich by any means. We do have a nest egg from having a business for many years that we've been saving for retirement. And I'm trying not to touch that. I'm trying to live as frugally as I can, still enjoy my life, and be able to buy things that I need when I need them. I think that's what a lot of us want to do. We just want to have the freedom to enjoy our lives and not just take our paychecks and hand them over to the electric company and hand them over for water and hand them over for all of these things and then have nothing left for ourselves. So that's how we have tried to live for the last several years. We've really tightened our belts to do that. So I'm going to show you what it looks like if you chose this route, or if you're interested in what it's like if you try a new place. So I showed you a clip just now of our campsite area and one of the frugal meals that I made on site. We plan on cooking most everything on site. I have a turkey roaster. I have an electric skillet. I have a crock pot. I have a stove top. We have an oven if needed, but I probably will use the turkey roaster outside on one of my little antique tray tables, because that way I don't heat up the camper. Now, when we were down there, it was around 82 to 87. We never turned on our air conditioning. We just opened the windows. We had a small fan that we used. We do pay our own electricity down there. So we will be living very much the same as we did here. We will not be running the air if we don't have to. We are acclimated to that. We don't run it much in the summer at all unless it gets excruciating hot, like 95, 100, 108, like it did last summer. Then we would run it in the evenings and at night for us to sleep. So I'm going to still stick with that philosophy. It's been working for us. So that's what I'm going to do down there. Now I want to show you a little clip of the ocean that's only 90 minutes away. So let's go to that clip and I'll show you that. Here we are on South Padre Island. We have the whole place to ourselves. There's like no one on the beach. I made tuna salad, boiled my eggs before we left, threw it all together in the camper. We have the gluten-free Crunchmaster crackers, which are my husband's favorite, and he's gluten-free. And we're just sitting here enjoying this. We've already walked down to the beach once and we're getting ready to head back. November at Padre Island. The off season, hardly anyone here. You get the discounted rates for camping and all kinds of things by coming down in the off season. You're able to travel on days like today, Friday, and not have a ton of crowds. Look at that, whole beach to ourselves. Early retirement, I highly recommend it. Wasn't that beautiful and relaxing? And as you noticed, again, we lived frugally even at the ocean by taking our own food. And that is something that we enjoy doing. I enjoy the challenge of figuring out how I can make my meals stretch, how I can make my money stretch so that I can enjoy doing things like this that mean more to me than going out to eat and maybe getting a mediocre meal that I know I could have cooked better at home. That's very frustrating for me when I spend money that maybe could buy half a week's groceries on one meal and it's not even that good. So that is the plan. I plan on sticking to that. I'm already used to that routine. So that's what we plan on doing. Now I'm going to show you a little clip of the camper so you can see how we are living in the camper. So here's that. Here's a tour of our camper as you come in the door. We have a chair you can sit in that I have repurposed a fabric palm tree shower curtain. I've cut it up because it was torn and I just thought those palm trees were too cute to throw away, so I've used it as a chair liner in here for our southern adventures. We have a blackout curtain here to keep people from seeing us when we change clothes. We have lots of cabinet space. Behind this curtain is a queen size bed. More and more cabinet space. We don't even have it all filled and we're already in the South. This was a table that we set up into kind of like a couch-like bed because this was actually used to serve farm meals to the workers. And because of that, they put in 2 tables, and we didn't need 2 tables. So this one we just made into like a couch-like bed. This pillow here, I had 2 body pillows that had kind of lost their fluff, and they both were bending in the middle, and I didn't know what to do with them. I had not decluttered them. I thought I had, and I went to check. I still had them both. So my husband and I wrestled these to put 2 body pillows in 2 long pillow slips to make a backrest. And so that is what we sit on for a couch, or if we want to take a nap in the afternoon. Here's our refrigerator and freezer. Lots of room, keeps things super cold. In fact, I had to turn the refrigerator down today because it was freezing some things even, and it was only on 3. This is the cabinet we keep our clothes on. It has like 3 large, deep shelves. I also have extra towels, a Keurig, all kinds of things that we keep in here. Tons of space. Then here is our little area where we can brush our teeth, put on makeup. Again, more cabinet space. Now here's the bathroom. Bathrooms are always the ugliest, right? I have a little tray table that we're using outside to cook with the turkey roaster on when I bake and things. Laundry basket for the dirty clothes, toilet. Also have my drying rack stored in here when we travel. My drying rack right now is outside the door because we're using it for swimsuits. Then when you come outside the bathroom, here is our little dinette. The second dinette, the one that we're actually using as a dinette. And I had more palm tree shower curtain to use, so I just put that there. I actually had a couple of pillows that already matched, moved them in here. And then here's our coffee pot, our container of fruit, our stove, our oven. I did bring my little plants to put in the window, and they are just thriving. They love it down here. They were barely over the top of the yogurt jar when we brought them, and they have just shot up in the last 2 days. Then we have a little sink, more cabinet space, microwave, more and more cabinet space all through here. I don't even have it all filled, and I thought I wouldn't have enough room. I have tons of room, tons of room. So that's the little tour of our camper. If you step outside, there's our drying rack. We have our lawn chairs. There's other little trailers that are around in the back. And as you saw in the thumbnail, we have a palm tree on our lot. So yes, we are absolutely loving this. Though it's supposed to be 85 today, we're going down to South Padre. Just wanted to give you a quick tour of the camper. It's very spacious for us considering the small Toyota camper we had before. And it's a 1996 Ford Eldorado. They don't even make these anymore, but we got a really good deal. It only had 30,000 miles. She had only used it to feed the workers in the fields with these 2 tables, the one that was the bed and the one in the back. It wasn't really slept in or used for anything else, so it was like new. We've had to do a little bit of upgrades just because some things have sat here so long. There was a few things that needed repaired and fixed, and like the radiator needed flushed, just some things like that. But this is going to be our second home. Now, we had a 1986 Toyota Motorhome before this, and it was perfect for 2 people. We loved it. People were constantly offering money on it. Every time they seen us, sometimes they would even yell out in the parking lot, how much to buy that? Because those things don't die. But we wanted something that could get a little more speed on the highway. They were made back when 55 was pretty much the normal speed limit. So we got something used. That is what we got used. But as you can see, it's like new. The lady only used it to feed the harvest hands in the field, and it had very low mileage. So we're very excited to have this almost new to us RV that is like 26 years old and it still runs wonderfully. We pulled a car down there. We drove the car back. We will be driving back separately when we come because we calculated what our gas mileage was pulling the car. We had rented a U-Haul dolly to pull the car, and we can drive the car back for half of the cost of what that trailer cost, and we'll still get better gas mileage also in the camper. So that's our plan when we do bring it back. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit more about how we're going to save money in the South. So we're going to try to offset some of those things that cost more. We will have 2 electric bills, one here at the house, one at the camper. We will have an additional cost of using a type of internet down there. My husband has chosen for now to stay here and work a bit longer. Now, if he changes his mind, of course, he's welcome to come, but that is the choice he's made for now. I will be down there next to my in-laws, and so I will have family down there. I won't be alone. And many times you hear bad things about these 55 and over communities, and we didn't experience anything negative when we were down there. It reminded me of home. When I grew up and in my 20s, every single farmer, every single car you met, people waved automatically, every single one. That's the way this community is. Everybody waves. It's what you do every time you see anyone. People came over and introduced themselves to us. They easily gave us their phone number in case we had questions or anything about the area. They were eager to help with anything they could tell us about that would make our stay more comfortable. And these are our neighbors. One of the things my husband and I did notice, though, is these people were in better shape than we were. They stayed active. They weren't sitting at 9 to 5 jobs all day. They were out doing things, walking, getting exercise. And we have that goal too, to get in better shape. Here we are, some of the youngest people down there, and we were in the worst shape of everybody there. So that's encouraging for us because we want to get more active and get in better shape. But we did find out from some of the neighbors that there's a farmer's market down there, more than one, where the prices on the produce are very low and you can get fresh grown items. We saw orange trees growing in our park. We saw lemon trees, lime trees, papaya trees. It was just so fun. We have a palm tree on our lot, which I showed you in the thumbnail. So these people will just go to the farmer's market for their produce. Now, we missed the day the farmer's market was open. We didn't know about it. We were at South Padre, but we saw a produce stand on the way back just a few miles away. And I have to show you these. Onions. These are huge. They are like 1.5 pounds each. We weighed them and they were $1 each. So at home, I can get 2 pounds of onions for about $1.99 if I go to Aldi. There's no Aldi down there. That's always been my go-to store for produce, and there's no Aldi. So I will be taking advantage of these produce stands to try to save money because as you can see, 2 of these onions weighed more than a 2-pound bag of onions that I buy here for $1.99. So I got more for my money by just buying 2 of these gigantic onions at the produce stand. So that shows you an example of how we can save money by shopping some of those local produce stands. Also, gas down there is so much cheaper. Right now in Kansas, it's about $3.49. And for some reason, every time we drive south, it gets cheaper and cheaper and cheaper. We paid $2.57 per gallon at one of the places that we stopped, but on average they were about $2.79 to $2.99 all the way down. So we can save money on gas, and I won't be driving to work every day. I won't be driving around a lot. There's just stuff right within my radius that I don't have to drive for. I know how to live frugally, cook frugally. I have lost a bunch of weight already. I don't eat a ton of food. So I should be able to make it a very affordable retirement for doing this for the next few months and be able to enjoy that climate at the same time. That is the main reason that I want to go down there, is the climate. I really hate Kansas winters, snow, and where we live at, we get more ice than snow. And it is slick outside. I don't want to fall. I get so cold in our house sometimes, and it's an old drafty farmhouse, and I get so cold. So I do a lot of creative things to stay warm, and I will do a video on that coming up soon. But we enjoy that type of weather. That is just my husband and I's comfort zone, is that wonderful like 82 to 87 weather. We love that. We did take a gift card with us, and we did go out to eat once because I had a gift card from Mother's Day that I had not used. And I told my husband, we really need to get this used. So we stopped and used the gift card, and honestly, the food was not good. Not his or mine. And granted, we stopped there late, close to closing. Maybe that affected the quality of the food. I don't know. Some of it tasted like it'd been sitting for a while. By the time they dipped it, it wasn't real hot. But we did use up that gift card. So, I mean, that paid almost all of one of our meals. And it may not be surprising to those of you who have been living frugally for a while, but restaurants are not doing so well. We had a local one in our city that's about an hour away close while we were gone. It's one we've only eaten at once. They do deal with a lot of like dairy-free, vegan, gluten-free type diets, but they said that they just were not getting the business, that people are eating more at home. And those of you that watch this, you are like me, most of you, that you all eat at home most of the time and rarely eat out. So I know we understand that. And then we have a couple of towns that are like 22 miles away, two different directions. They're smaller. They both have a McDonald's that closed while we were gone this week. One quit because it only had 4 employees. The other one was owned by the same people, had a kitchen fire, and chose to not even put the money back in it to reopen. And they don't have much competition for eating out in these towns, but they still chose to not keep those McDonald's open. And I guess they closed a bunch more of their McDonald's, this group that owned them. So that is really kind of the trend that we are seeing, is more people are trying to crunch those numbers, put their pennies where it matters so that they add up to be dollars. That's why I call this pennies to dollars. And less people are eating out. So when McDonald's starts choosing to close some of their stores, that is a huge eye opener that people are starting to live more frugally and eat at home more. If you have any questions about us living in the South part of the year for the winter, please drop them in the comments below. I would love to answer them for you. We did have an exciting moment when we realized that it didn't even cost as much to live there as we thought. I thought it was going to be about $600 a month. It's only $366 a month for us to live there. That is amazing. Free water, free trash, outdoor swimming pool, indoor swimming pool, hot tub. Those are the things I'll be partaking in. But again, let me know if you have any questions. And again, keep living frugally so that you can reach those dreams. They are there just waiting for you.